Cannabis, commonly known as weed, pot, or marijuana, is a plant with a rich and complex history. For centuries, this plant has been intertwined with human civilization, used for its medicinal, recreational, and industrial properties. But where did this ubiquitous plant come from? How did it spread across the globe? And how did its perception shift from a valued resource to a controversial substance? This journey through the history of weed will take us back thousands of years, exploring its ancient origins, its journey through different cultures, and its evolving role in society. We will delve into archaeological evidence, trace its spread along ancient trade routes, and examine its shifting legal and social standing. Join us as we unravel the intriguing story of weed, a plant that has captivated and confounded humanity for millennia. The story of weed begins thousands of years ago, long before it became the subject of heated debates and legal battles. Archaeological evidence points to ancient China as one of the earliest sites of cannabis cultivation and use, dating back to at least 4000 BCE. Excavations in China have uncovered remnants of hemp fabric, pottery containing cannabis seeds, and even medical texts mentioning its therapeutic benefits. These findings suggest that cannabis played a significant role in ancient Chinese society, utilized for its fibers, food value, and medicinal properties. Further archaeological discoveries in regions like Romania and Siberia have unearthed cannabis seeds and pollen, suggesting its presence in Europe and Central Asia as early as the Neolithic period. These findings hint at the widespread use of cannabis in ancient Eurasia, potentially for a variety of purposes. Beyond its practical applications, cannabis held a prominent place in the spiritual and medicinal practices of several ancient cultures. In India, cannabis, known as bhang, has been revered for millennia as a sacred plant with religious significance. Ancient Hindu texts mention its use in religious ceremonies and its association with Shiva, one of the most important deities in Hinduism. Similarly, in ancient China, cannabis was used in shamanistic rituals and traditional medicine. The Chinese Emperor Shun Nung, revered as the father of Chinese medicine, is said to have documented its medicinal properties around 2700 BCE, recommending it for various ailments, including pain relief and inflammation. These ancient practices highlight the deep-rooted cultural and spiritual significance of cannabis in different parts of the world, where it was viewed not just as a plant, but as a sacred herb with mystical and healing properties. The spread of cannabis from its centers of origin in Asia to other parts of the world was facilitated by ancient trade routes, particularly the Silk Road. As merchants traversed these vast networks, exchanging goods and ideas, cannabis seeds and plants likely hitched a ride, finding their way to new lands and cultures. Historical accounts suggest that cannabis reached the Middle East and Africa through these trade routes, where it was adopted for various purposes, including medicinal, recreational, and spiritual. From there it gradually spread westward, reaching Europe around the first millennium CE. The journey of cannabis along these ancient trade routes illustrates how interconnected the world has been for centuries and how plants like cannabis played a role in shaping cultural practices and beliefs across different societies. Section 5. A plant of many uses, from fiber to forage. Throughout history, cannabis has proven to be a remarkably versatile plant, valued for its diverse range of uses beyond its psychoactive properties. One of its primary uses, particularly in ancient times, was as a source of strong and durable fiber. Hemp, a variety of cannabis cultivated for its fibers, was used to produce textiles, ropes, paper, and even building materials. Cannabis seeds, rich in nutrients and oils, also served as a valuable food source in various cultures. They were consumed raw, roasted, ground into flour, or pressed for their oil, providing sustenance and essential nutrients. The multifaceted nature of cannabis, from its industrial applications to its nutritional value, highlights its historical significance as a valuable resource that has contributed to human societies in numerous ways. Section 6. Changing tides, weeds shifting legal status. The legal status of cannabis has undergone dramatic transformations throughout history, reflecting evolving social attitudes, political agendas, and cultural norms. For centuries, cannabis cultivation and use were largely unregulated in many parts of the world, viewed as a valuable resource and an integral part of cultural practices. However, starting in the early 20th century, cannabis faced increasing scrutiny and prohibitionist policies, particularly in the Western world. Factors such as racial prejudice, economic interests, and moral panic contributed to its demonization and eventual criminalization in many countries. This shift in legal status marked a turning point in the history of cannabis, leading to its widespread prohibition and driving its use underground, where it became increasingly associated with criminal activity and social stigma. Section 7. Reefer Madness, Propaganda and Prohibition. The mid-20th century witnessed a concerted effort to demonize cannabis through propaganda campaigns and sensationalized media portrayals. Films like Reefer Madness from 1936 depicted cannabis use as leading to violence, insanity, and social decay, fueling public fear and hysteria. These campaigns, often rooted in racial prejudice and political motivations, effectively swayed public opinion against cannabis, paving the way for its prohibition under the guise of protecting public health and morality. The Reefer Madness era left a lasting legacy of stigma and misinformation surrounding cannabis, shaping public perception for decades and hindering open discussions about its potential benefits and harms. Section 8. A New Era Cannabis in the 21st Century. In recent decades, the global conversation surrounding cannabis has shifted once again, with a growing movement advocating for its legalization or decriminalization. This shift can be attributed to several factors, including scientific research highlighting its potential therapeutic benefits, changing social attitudes, and a growing awareness of the failures of prohibition. Several countries and states have legalized or decriminalized cannabis for medical or recreational use, leading to a burgeoning industry and renewed interest in its potential applications. While cannabis still faces legal hurdles and social stigma in many parts of the world, the 21st century marks a new era for this ancient plant, one characterized by scientific inquiry, evolving social norms, and a growing recognition of its complex history and potential. Section 9. The Future of Weed. Between Stigma and Science. The future of cannabis remains uncertain, caught between lingering stigma and the promise of scientific discovery. As research continues to investigate its potential benefits and risks, and as societies grapple with its legal and social implications, the story of weed is far from over. One thing is certain: cannabis has been a constant companion throughout human history, shaping our cultures, our beliefs, and our relationship with the natural world. As we move forward, it is essential to approach this plant with a balanced perspective, informed by both its rich history and the evolving scientific understanding of its complexities. The journey of weed is a testament to the enduring power of plants to influence human civilization, a reminder that our relationship with the natural world is complex, ever-evolving, and full of surprises.